Hello, I am gutted that I am away from you. I've been really looking forward to teaching you and getting back after the summer. We've got somebody off sick at the moment until at least the 7th, so I'm covering some engineering classes for Alistair across in Kirkwall. Couple of videos for you, so you still get me teaching, yay! Sorry. Right, so watch carefully. I hope you have a good day. And I hope to see you very soon. Cheers. Bye. Okay, we're going to look at measuring a bearing using our plotter. I want you to imagine that you're standing here at Old Chapel Head Lighthouse. You're looking out across to Linnad's Point Lighthouse there. So we're going to get the bearing of Linnad's Point Lighthouse from you. Okay, so the first thing we do with our plotter, we're going to have the arrow pointing in the direction of the object we're looking at. Then you can line up the edge of your plotter right through the centres. Now you don't have to draw a line. I'm going to draw a line just to remind you where we are. So we're here looking that way. Oops. So what we're going to do, if it's with a plotter, is line up the plotter, or if you've drawn a line, you can use any of the lines in the grid on here. So I've lined up with my pencil line, and then I'm going to spin this and I'm going to line up the grid here with this printed longitude line, and that means I've got to slide up my line a little bit. And remember, I'm actually over the pencil line through the plotter, but I could just be using the edge, but I'm lined up good and proper. I've lined up my grid with the printed longitude line, so I should be able to read off my true bearing just here, and that reads 71 degrees. So that's how you do it with a plotter. You can rewind this video, of course, and the way we do it with a parallel ruler in some ways is even easier. So we can put our ruler on the line, hold that side down, and we head for a compass rose. We've got one nearby. Now I'm going to put my ruler through the centre of the compass rose. And again, you don't normally have to mark it. If I mark it, 71 degrees. Now that's the direction, the bearing of Linnad's Point from here, from Old Chapel Head. Okay, so if I was there, the bearing would be 180 degrees different, wouldn't it? That's how you measure a bearing. If that was a course, if that was part of a passage and I was heading in that direction, then I would point my plotter that way. If I was sailing in that direction, I would point my plotter that way. I think you get it. Go for it. Okay, now we're going to look at measuring distance. We'll stick with our line. So let's say we want to know the distance between our Old Chapel Head and Linnad's Point. We can get our dividers. And remember, we're going to the centre of the star, which is the symbol of the lighthouse. So I've got my distance there. Another way I can do that is, if I don't have a pair of dividers, I can get a piece of paper and be as accurate as you can. So, as you can probably remember, over at the side of the chart here, we have our minutes. Minutes of latitude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. All the numbers. And 1 minute of latitude on the side scale, not the top scale, just the side scale, is a nautical mile. So let's have a look at how far it is between those 2 points. And I'm starting here. Just start anywhere where it's easy to count. I'll move this over so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 point something nautical miles. 8 point. Each of these is 0.2. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm going to call that 8.8 nautical miles. It's a little bit over, but we're going to call that 8.8 or 8.9 nautical miles. And remember, same thing works with my bit of paper. And actually, it's a lot clearer to see, to be honest. That is very definitely 8.9 nautical miles. It's just more easy to see than the dividers. And that is how we measure the distance of this journey. Now, on here, I'm going to write 071 degrees true is the course or the bearing. And I'm going to put, doesn't matter quite where you write this, 8.8 nautical miles. You can put just M for miles or NM for nautical miles. This is now fully lined up. It's good if you put a ground track. Shows your direction of travel as well. Cool. Okay, finally, how long is my journey going to take me? I won't need the watch. I just put that there for when I'm editing the film. And I know which clip this is. Okay, so if you look in your teaching notes, you'll see that your boat has a speed of 8 knots. And we have a distance to travel of 8.8 miles. So you can work it out in your head and say it's just over an hour, right? Well, yeah, that's true. But there's also a handy little device here called DST. And sometimes people put it in a little triangle to help you remember it. If you want to know the time it's going to take you, so you want to know this square, you look at the other two squares. So to work out the time of the journey, you take distance and divide it by your speed. If you wanted to know the speed you were going, you take the distance and divide it by the time it took you to do the trip. If you want to know the distance you've traveled, take your speed and multiply it by your time. So we're going to do this one. We're going to take our distance, which is 8.8, and we're going to divide it by our time, which was, we're going to divide it by our speed, which is 8 knots. So distance 8.8 divided by speed 8 knots actually equals 1.1. So, all right, 1.1 hours. That's fairly useful. But there's a little trick. Sometimes with these sums, you get quite a messy load of decimals here. So if we take that hour and we take that over here and we say 1 hour, great. And then we take this decimal, doesn't matter what it is, how many numbers it is, and we're going to times that by 60. And that just converts it into minutes. It's quite clever. And that actually equals 6 minutes. And of course, 0.1 of 60 minutes is going to be 6 minutes. And that's quite a nice simple one for you to see how it works. But you might try some others of your own. And remember, you can watch this video over again to get an idea. So my time on here, I can also label it up with my time. It doesn't matter where, just somewhere we can see it. 1 hour, 6 minutes. I don't need seconds. And in RYA answer, you'd probably say that was just over an hour. Okay, cool. Okay, lastly, I've asked you to do a passage, not here, elsewhere on the chart, but I'm just going to show you how we draw that in. I'm going to go from the exit of this harbour right down the bottom at Hamilton, and I then want to come up round these rocks, being nice and safe. And yeah, let's say I want to end up just at the mouth of this little harbour here. Now, that's quite a route. It's quite small. So what I'm actually going to do, you always make a passage in a series of straight lines. You always have a start point and an end point. So I've got this transit of lights here, and I'm going to have it when I'm just dead in between these two harbour lights. So I'm going to put my start point there. So I'm going to strike out safely between all these rocks. I'm just going to look along my line. And if I do that to there, I check along my line. I've got a draft of 2 meters. I'm not going to hit anything. There's no exclusions, no zones, no firing ranges, nothing. I'm good. So I'm going to go to about there. And then that's nice because the used to call this opening a harbour, and I've opened up a lovely safe route. So I'm just going to turn there. And if you use the other skills that you've already seen in this video, you'll be able to work out the bearing, distance and time till you have to turn. So you could actually set off at your speed with a stopwatch going. And when the time's up, you'll know fairly reliably over a short distance like that it's time to turn. Here, bearing or heading, distance and speed till you reach that. It can be a bit more complicated than that, but there's your basics. So give me a passage from, I think it was Victoria to somewhere else, but you'll have it in your notes. Right, that's it. That's the end of my videos for today. See you soon.